Look at this beautiful bird. We are used to see white, yellow, blue, green, or combination of them. But what about this one? Look the beauty of this bird. Well, this is the result of the gray factor in Budgies. We will learn everything about it in this video. What does the gray factor gene changes? It adds or sometimes totally overrides the Budgie's body color. But how? It is more noticeable in Blue Series Budgies. You can see it almost or totally overrides the blue, and we get this beautiful gray Budgie. However, you can still see a tint of blue. In Green Series Budgies, it is not very noticeable, and you can easily mistake gray with olive Budgie, which is the darkest green pigment produced by the dark gene, which we did talk about it in details in another video. I'll keep a link in the description for that video. With that being said, sometimes you can clearly see the gray factor in action with Green Series Budgies. Look at this light green Budgie. Due to other mutations that act on the body color like the dilution gene, we can still see the gray factor. But when the gray factor acts on normal green Budgies, it is really hard to tell if it's just olive or has the gray factor in it. So let's concentrate more on the Blue Series Budgies where the gray is more prominent. You can see this Budgie, it is totally gray. Why? Because it's Blue Series Budgie. The gray factor acts on the body color of your Budgie, and that's why you see it gray. That's what mostly the gray factor does to your Budgie. However, there is another subtle sign to confirm it's gray Budgie. It's not as prominent as the change in its body color, but you can still look at the cheek patches of your Budgie. They become duller, more steel blue or muted violet. And by that I mean the contrast of the cheek patches with your Budgie's face become less intense. Look at the difference in the cheek patches between this gray Budgie and the normal blue Budgie. You can clearly see the gray Budgie has more steel blue color rather than the vibrant in the normal Budgie. Now that we know how to identify it, let's dive into its genetics, which is pretty straightforward and easy to understand because the gray factor is dominant, which means it's enough for the Budgie to carry the gene to be visible, unlike the recessive trait where the Budgie needs to inherit it from both of his parents in order to express the mutation. The gray factor is denoted as capital letter G, which is the first letter of gray. And if it's missing from your Budgie, then it's a small letter G. Now let's head into the Punnett square to see how we can get the gray Budgie. Let's say one parent is gray Budgie, and his genetics have GG with one capital letter and one small letter G, which means it has the gray factor from only one of his parents. However, it still shows it's gray because it's dominant gene. And the other parent is not gray, which means he has to have both of his genes as small letters GG, because otherwise it will express the gene in the phenotype. Now we can build the Punnett square. We can see 50% of their offspring will be gray Budgies, and 50% will not be gray. And that's it. That's it for the gray factor. One of the most underrated mutations, but really beautiful one. Do you have a gray Budgie? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more mutation deep dives. Want to support Budgie World and get cute perks? Hit the join button. It means a lot and helps keep the videos flying.